Welcome to part two of my surrender. Call it an experiment. It really was an experiment. It was an experience, but I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I thought it was just crazy. Leaving my perfect life and starting to make money and doing a pretty decent job, but then I just got rid of all of it. I surrendered all of it for a deeper mission, a deeper purpose. And in the last video, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm gonna link it here or somewhere here for you guys to watch it because it's gonna make this video make that much more sense. So if you haven't watched it yet, either stop this video, go watch it, and then come back, or watch this video and then go back and watch that video, because the two videos tie together. I just had to separate them because they're gonna be really long videos, but they have very, very important information in it about me, and it's got some information that might be able to help you guys navigate the waters of life that you might currently be in right now as well. So this time I've got my notes, so let's just dive right in. The last video we talked about how I got a one-way ticket to Asia, and then poof. So I was in Asia. I flew over to Thailand first. I had just my bag and like a smaller bag with like my laptop and camera gear. That was about it. My intention for going over to Asia was simply just, I'm gonna vlog myself and go on adventures and show you guys what it's like to fully surrender and see what the universe has for me. And then in doing that, I wanted to inspire you guys how important it is to surrender. I wanted to show you guys the magic that the universe really has for us. Like, the magic happens in the unknown. So the first month I was having a great time. I kind of got a little, thick around the waist. I went on a spring roll fling when I was in Bangkok, just driving around eating. Like, everything's so cheap over there, so I'm just eating, and it was a lot of fun. But I was like spending unnecessary money. I felt actually quite a bit of anxiety when I was over there. When I first got there, this wasn't in the notes, but when I first got there, I'm like, why? Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I just felt really anxious, and I felt like this dark cloud like holding me down from like trying to go out and do anything. So the first few days I was in Thailand, I stayed in my room and I did some like inner work, breath work, and like doing some like deep reflections of, what is this random anxiety? Like, what is this? Over time, I was able to release that. But self-worth started to come up. It's just a little bit of sprinkle of self-worth. And I'm like, okay, like self-worth, we'll work through it a little later. I want to get out there and I want to go take videos, go to the markets, eat some crazy foods, and just share my experiences with everyone. I'm starting the YouTube channel at this point. So I'm out and about, I'm in Bangkok, then I fly down to Krabi. I think it was like a week and a half later. Krabi was amazing. That was like my favorite place. Super, like all nature, mountains, riding scooters. I was like swimming out to like the islands, and I was like climbing them barefoot and going to the beaches, going to other islands, and having crazy experiences. Actually, we're going through those experiences. So again, I'm just kind of like vlogging, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. But part of me was like, you need to get your act together, start working out. There were no gyms where I was. I don't even think there were like any Muay Thai or any like, I was looking for jiu-jitsu, to be honest. I didn't see any like jiu-jitsu, or there might've been like one Muay Thai place, but I was like, I'm just gonna do some like animal flow. So I started working on like my mobility and flexibility and just like basic animal patterns. Started learning how to day trade, because I was like, eventually this is gonna like really pay off. And I was really, really invested into that. Every day I was trading, learning, going through a course, because I was like, man, I want to make money anywhere. And I don't want to have to not live my life because I'm limited by financial resources. So in Krabi, it was a great time. Every day it was like a new adventure, really just focusing on myself, reading, journaling, going deep within myself. And especially like going through the breakup that I had, a great relationship, there were internal blocks that was stopping me from fully expressing myself. So I had to go deep within myself and let go of a lot of the energy that was holding me back. And after weeks of doing that, I felt significantly better. I felt more flow. I felt better on camera. I started uploading more to YouTube. I think I was on YouTube at this point. Then I met a friend. Him and I were like driving around, having a great time. Then we went to one of these other islands or another part of Krabi. And this was a lot of fun. It's like this small little area where it's just cool. It's like a tourist area, but we found this beach that was a little bit more private. And we ended up getting some mushies. If you know, you know. If not, never mind. We ended up getting mushies. I forgot that I was 3 days, like really fasting. I had some fruit here and there, but nothing crazy. I'm just doing like an internal cleanse, like focusing my channel, connecting with God through like my meditations, through breath work, and just being present in nature and just the experiences that I was experiencing. So one day we go to the beach and we go to the far end where there's like no one. And we're having a good time. I'm out swimming island to island, doing my thing, but then we're like, we got mushies. So we both took I took like 3 grams. And I was like, this is going to be fun, I guess. I didn't think it would be anything crazy, but I forgot I was fasted. So we did the mushies. He went off on his journey, and then I went off on my journey. I was like, I need to be alone right now. There was a little cove that was filled up with water, but in the evening, the tide's a little lower, so I was able to walk over to the cove and just stand there. And on this experience, I just stood there in the same place for like 6 hours. And I remember I was just so present, just looking at the stars. I've never seen so many stars in the sky in my life. Everything was just brighter, stronger. I could connect with the energy of nature and everything around me. But then I closed my eyes. I was like, God, I know I'm here for something more. Show me. And it was an interesting experience because I remember being in my mother's womb. And I can't really explain what it is, but I remember the sounds that I was hearing. And I remember feeling the vibrations of the sounds that I was hearing. And I felt like I was going through a rebirth, like an indoctrination. And then on that same trip, there was like this giant snake, like huge, thick snake. And he was like on the trip, not real life. On the trip, he was like coming at me and I was just like fighting him off. Like fear was coming and it was attacking me from every single angle, trying to fight me. And I'm literally just standing here just alone, away from everyone. Like there's no one around at this point for a really far. It's late at night. It's probably like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Not a soul on the beach. I'm just there and I'm just like wrestling with this energy of fear. And eventually I fought it. And then I felt this coat of presence like over me. Like, congratulations, you've done it. I felt victorious, to be honest. And then I was just like dancing, flowing, moving my body. And then I was like putting my hand on the water and moving it across. And the water lit up bright blue, like bright baby blue. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I was just playing with the water. I was just so in tune with everything around me. And I started thinking, I was like, man, my life sounds like a movie, but I am the main character in my movie. I don't have to watch anyone else to experience the movie because I create the movie and I am the main player in my movie. So make it an epic movie. And I was like, challenge accepted. So later on that trip, I almost like stayed out, like did an indoctrination and just like slept in the water, did all the crazy stuff. But I decided not to. Went out, found my friend. We hung out the rest of the night. Had pizza. It was like the best tasting pizza ever. Had a really great time. And then Krabi was kind of over. Then I went to Phuket. This is when I'm like, I shed the fear of the snake, the energy of the snake. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this thing. I'm gonna start training jiu-jitsu, MMA again. I'm here in Thailand. I'm gonna train Muay Thai, and I'm just gonna like become a lethal weapon and like just be the man I'm meant to be. I know I'm here and I'm meant to help make men men again. So why not start doing the martial arts, start working out again? Because I haven't lifted weights in months at that point. It's probably close to 6 months since the last time I touched a weight, probably longer than that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go train jiu-jitsu, and then we're gonna get it on. A few days later, I ended up going across the pond. Actually, no, I drove around the pond. I drove around and I went to Phuket, which is where a lot of like the famous, what is it called? Muay Thai schools are. One of them had like jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai. I was like, this is perfect. So I got my little hut and I was like, I'm just gonna stay here and train. So the first week of jiu-jitsu went by. I'm like, this is amazing, loving it. I'm doing jiu-jitsu, getting into Muay. I didn't even get to do Muay Thai, which I was really pissed at the time. But I was like working out and I was doing a great job. I'm like, I'm starting to like build a routine. Next thing I know, just to let you guys know, I am no doctor, I am no medical professional. Just this is a full disclosure. I am not all of that. I'm just sharing with you my experiences, but I am qualified on CLS, Combat Life Saver. Thank you, USMC Marine Crops, because I didn't really use CLS. For those of you that know what it is, I didn't really use that shit. But it's kind of funny. I've done. I'm just gonna go back into the story. Okay, so like a week into jiu-jitsu, I had this thing grow on my knee, and I encourage you guys to close your eyes real quick if you are sensitive to nasty stuff. In 3, 2, 1, close your eyes. You could take a look at that. That's what it started off as. Keep your eyes closed. This is what it turned into. And off. You guys can open your eyes now. Oh, this is okay. Good story, man. I'm super excited to like talk about this. So I basically get staph, and people over there, they've been known to die or lose limbs from having a staph infection. So I had to stop doing jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, it's only been a week that I've been back into it. And now I have staph. Now I can't train anymore. And it just kept getting worse and worse. A week in to having staph, my whole body was swollen. Like you can see this picture of my feet that were swollen. Eventually, the staph infection, if you're sensitive to boo-boos and blood, close your eyes. 3, 2, 1. This is what it turned into. You can open your eyes in 3, 2, 1. It got really bad. My back hurt so bad. I couldn't walk. So I just locked myself in my room, and I'm like, I was just bedridden. I couldn't do anything. It was honestly miserable. Probably the worst I think I've ever felt in my entire life. Anything and everything about my body was just like broken and hurting and sore. Like I would go days without sleep. I might sleep for like 2 hours, but then I would wake up and I would be throwing up or pissing out my ass. And like in one night, I'd probably piss out of my ass 8 times. So I didn't get more than 2 hours of sleep. Finally, on like the second or third night, I think it was the third night, of being like really, really bad, I'm up, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, universe, I know nothing happens randomly. So what are you trying to tell me through this experience? You know what the universe spoke to me? Clear as day. If you don't do it, I'll find someone else who will. And I felt that in my heart. And I knew exactly what that meant. At that moment, I realized I was Jonah in the whale running from his mission. I'm Jonah and I'm running from Nineveh. I was running from my mission that God sent me here to do. And I got so good at sabotaging myself. I was like, yeah, look at me, this surrender experience, going on adventures and all this stuff. That's not what I was meant to do. I later found out that was a form of me self-sabotaging because I didn't feel like I was worthy of this mission at a much, much deeper level of consciousness. At a very unconscious level too. And as soon as the universe gave me that ultimatum, I accepted it. I was like, let's go. Send it on me. I'll get better. Mind you, this infection has continued to grow and grow and grow, and I couldn't walk. People lose their legs, people lose their lives for shit like this. And I remember it got so bad. So rewinding a couple days, it got so bad that I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to trust in myself and not go seek medical experiences or help or whatever. I can do this on my own. Like, I fully believe in myself. So I put my life on the line, my leg on the line. And I was like, no, I'm going to heal this myself. I can do this. Because if I can heal myself like this, nothing can stop me from anything. So then I think it was like the next day was when I got the ultimatum. The next day after I accepted the ultimatum, it was a crazy, crazy experience. I was like 90% better. My poops were solid. I wasn't throwing up anymore. I could walk. All the swelling in my body went down by like 95%. I was up walking around. And then I just had these epiphanies of how I can heal myself. So I started getting oregano oil, tea tree oil, lavender, different essential oils, and I was doing like these concoctions. And I was like healing myself. This up here is a picture of where I was doing knee surgery, legit like knee surgery with a steak knife, more like a butter knife, a pair of tweezers, a headlamp, and a little bit of alcohol. And I would have to, I'll spare you the details, but I basically had to go into my knee and clean it out. But I had the confidence to do that. I was like, no, this is my confidence journey. When I would wrap it, I'd have to go into it probably like 2 or 3, 4 times a day for hours, just pulling, draining whatever was in there. I would get a hot sock. If you're really sensitive, then maybe fast forward a little bit, but if you're not, I'll tell you a little bit of the story. So what I would do to heal it is I would get a hot sock, a clean sock, and I would warm it in boiling water. I would put the sock on top of my open wound. That'll open up the blood vessels. So then I went in with a steak knife and I kind of like pried out some of the goo and the nasty stuff. Then I'd go in with tweezers, pull this stuff out, and it looked like honeycombs, like half an inch deep into my knee. It was huge. It was like that big. Just into my knee. And I'm just draining this for like a week straight, like hours and hours a day. But I had, like, my mindset was in the right place. I had the confidence because it was after the ultimatum I really started working on my knee like this. But I knew that I could heal it. And I would wrap it up in a bandage and I would write love, wholeness. And every day I was like, I am love, I am wholeness, infusing those frequencies into my knee. And now there's a beautiful scar on my knee reminding me of the night that I accepted the ultimatum from the universe. I haven't told you what that ultimatum is yet, have I? Yeah, it's wild. We'll get to it. How much time do I have on this thingy? Battery's kind of going down, so we're gonna try to keep this a 1-part thing, but we'll see. We might need to do 2 parts. So my knee's getting better, And I stay, like the next day, I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. Basically, part of that ultimatum is making men men again, the Conscious Warrior Project. Like, get out of your comfort zone, stop trying to self-sabotage, and see that you are worthy to lead men into remembering who they are, finding themselves, finding their mission, clearing all the bullshit, the traumas, the anxiety, the depression, suicidal ideations, clear all that stuff because that's blocking you from seeing what's in front of you. And then being able to guide other people, other men, how to step into their mission and their purpose. And then tap into their spiritual gifts, the energy gifts that we all have. Whether that's decalcifying your pineal gland, being able to connect to God immediately, deeply, talking to God just like you and I. Like, oh, well, like I'm talking to you right now. I wouldn't say you're really talking back. But literally as real as that, and just getting the answers that you need, not getting answers from someone else, from the perspective of their lens, of their traumas, their insecurities, their beliefs, and their thoughts. But when you clear that channel, you are receiving divinity, clear messages, focused messages from the God, source, spirit, the universe, of what you're meant to do in every moment. We need to remember that we're not here to control the how, but our attitude needs to be willing to fully trust and surrender, because when the how is shown, then we need to activate our discipline and our leadership energy and our action in order to take steps forward in that mission. And as we accept one mission and we do that one thing, like if you watch the last video, I was told to go back to Tampa and launch my podcast. I came back to Tampa, I launched my podcast. I did like a 7 or 8 episode series on making men men again and the challenges that we face, all different like monopolies. And then I was told to go somewhere else, and then somewhere else. I didn't get the big picture yet. I was just following step by step. But later in this video, I'll explain how I got the big picture of what this mission is. So I got better. Like my knee, it took a while. It actually took months for it to like completely heal, but I'd say within 2 weeks, it was like almost completely covered. The wound was healed. I was 100% better, feeling amazing, getting sleep, no longer pissing out of my ass. I started doing YouTube channels. So I encourage you guys, go back to my earlier YouTube channels and watch those, because those are the messages that I received from God to share with all of you guys during that time. And they're not to spread fear or hate or any low vibrational frequency. But the purpose of those videos was because I was listening to what God was telling me. And it hit me hard when I realized that I was self-sabotaging hard. I didn't believe within myself. I didn't have confidence within myself to know that I am worthy for this mission, to lead men, to become leaders of men. Just like Jesus, he came here to be fishers of men, to make leaders of men so they can go into the world and make the world a better place. I can only change so many lives, but if I can change mine and then I can inspire others to change theirs, then they'll be inspired to go out and change others. So this mission really is all about you guys. And I'm just here to help you guys wake up and guide you into your mission, into your purpose, into your leadership, so you can go out and live a very, very purposeful and fulfilling life. So a month after just going all in on YouTube, editing, working on my health, I was still a little sick, so I couldn't like go to the gym. But I was doing push-ups, I was doing squats, like I had my little workouts, I was doing mobility, like every single day, like I was on top of my shit, like, and I stayed in the same room, this tiny ass room, probably about as big as this room that I'm in right now, maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, about the same size. And I was just developing these really great habits, working on mobility. I'm like, these are the things that I know I need to do. And I would get very clear. I was like, who do I need to be in order to get to Who do I need to be in order, or what do I need to do in order to be who I'm meant to be? Like the kind of man that is on this mission. So it was a lot of journaling, a lot of meditation, a lot of breath work every day. Even before my flights in the morning at like 4 a.m., I'd still wake up at 3:30 so I can do a 20-minute meditation. I'm committed. Like now I'm like, okay, like I don't know where I'm going, but I have an idea of where I'm going now. So you kind of see the steps. Like at first it's like complete blind faith. Then you get a little bit of an idea. And then the clarity, the unwavering, cannot deny conviction, the big picture of why you have to do what you have to do and trust, surrender into the unknown in order to be the man that you're meant to be, or be the person, become who you're meant to be. So that month went by. I was just doing really deep work. I don't think I left that place at all. Like I went to the beach a couple of times, but that was about it. But I was doing a lot of inner work. And then my buddy was like, "You should come to Bali. I'm going to be leaving in a month." And I was like, "All right." So I booked a plane ticket to Bali, and I was in Phuket. I was in that part of Thailand, staying in that little hut for a month, like not leaving at all. But then I was like, "Yep, I'm going to Bali now." I'm at 15%. Damn, we might have to make another one. Let's make another video. So now I have an idea of what my mission is. I know I'm self-sabotaging. I know I was lacking self-worth, because the self-sabotage is a much deeper belief that you are not worthy of what you desire. So you decide to sabotage. That hit me hard. I went out on a walk one day and that hit me like a mother muffin brick. I realized that I was just, it all came down to self-worth. I didn't believe I was worthy. So until I found the root cause of what that self-worth was, I can cover it up as much as I want. But until I cover it up, I'm just painting a piece of shit. You could paint a beautiful pink, blue, rainbow colored shit. It doesn't change the fact that it's still shit. You gotta get the pooper scooper and you gotta clean that thing up and get rid of it, dispose of it. And that's what I finally did. I disposed of the poop. I disposed of the shit. I disposed of the unconscious belief and thought of self-sabotage, that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy to lead in such a big mission. So I crushed it. And now I have the conviction that I'm the mother muffin man. I am the muffin man, the muffin. I'm the man. I'm the guy that God sent here to lead men, to make men men again and lead. And the cool part is, you see a lot of guys, oh, make men men again, and all these like spiritual retreats and fitness retreats and all these things. But this is unique. My mission is to bridge the physical with the spiritual and make it make sense so that you can integrate it. Because we are a spirit, forever being energy, in a physical body here on Earth realm. But we need to learn how to connect the two, integrate the two, so that we can optimize our mission, purpose, experiences, but also just enjoy the shit out of life. Whatever you want, your wish is your command. So when I go to Bali, that's when I start going so much deeper. Like, this is the most important part of the entire past 2 years of my life, the surrender experiment. It all led up until this moment. And when I got my moment, you will never be this. Like once your mind expands, you can never go back to the original form. My mind, my heart expanded so much that I can't deny my mission and purpose anymore. And it goes deeper than what I just told you guys, making men men again, but that's a part of it. I'll go deeper into it a little bit later. But I want to encourage you guys, we're going to do a part 2. We're doing a Thailand, then we're doing a Bali. want to encourage you guys. Where are you self-sabotaging in your life? Take personal accountability. Behind that self-sabotage, what actions are you taking? Why are you taking those? To see even further and to see the root cause, there's a belief somewhere in your noggin you don't feel worthy enough. So you put it off to the next day and the next day. And then you just start coming up with excuses. Losers are really good at one thing and one thing only: coming up with excuses. So are you a winner or are you a loser? Let me know down in the comments. What are you guys struggling with? What are you self-sabotaging yourself from? Remember, when you acknowledging it is step number one. You have to shine the light on the darkness. Then you can start growing. But if you don't shine the light and acknowledge what's truly holding you back, doesn't matter how hard you try, you're never going to move forward. So I want to challenge you guys. Comment down below, because you probably didn't do it already. Comment down below and let me know how you are self-sabotaging in your life. How are you self-sabotaging yourself from fulfilling your mission and your purpose? So I'm going to tell you, deep down inside, you know, bro. You know exactly. But all these thoughts, beliefs, egos, bad habits, those are the things that are holding you back from being the man that you're meant to be, from living a fulfilling mission, a purpose, and enjoying the experiences of life, the riches, the abundance, literally anything you can desire, whatever your heart desires, it's for you. I did a breathwork session about a year ago at a men's retreat, and as I went into the breathwork session, I heard, Aiden, my wish for my desire, your desires is what I intended for you. Like, your desires are your desires for a reason, because God put those on your heart, because that's what's going to make you who you are. Don't ignore the things that you love. Don't ignore the things that bring you peace and bliss and that lights you up. It's okay. It's okay to relax a little bit and not work so much. I love you guys. And I hope that you took something from this video. Please comment down below, share it with a homie. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel so we can literally just create an amazing community here online and eventually in person that I'll be starting very soon. We're going to get like-minded individuals together and we're going to change the world that's going to ripple across the entire universe. I love you very much. You should love you more too. Don't be so hard on yourself. See and know, believe that you are worthy of everything that you desire. Even if it sounds crazy, if it's on your heart, it's meant for you. You just gotta clear the way. Clear the bullshit out of the way to see that you are truly worthy of being the man you're meant to be, the man that you desire to be. I love you, man. We are going to have the next part 3 video of Bali, and this is where the stuff gets real interesting, like out of this world, literally interesting. But that's a story for the next video. They think it's for the next video too. So I love you guys. Talk to you soon, and peace and love.